Want to jump out here real quick, guys. I'm over at our assembly. We had a powerful time today. The Most High God had me really just give the people a revelation that came straight from Him today, and it was very good. I just wanted to jump out here real quick about TD Jakes here. All right, I want to jump out here about a video that was shared in terms of him stating that he is Hebrew, that he's a Jew, all right? And I want to just play it for you here because sometimes we can want to hear something that's not really what the person actually said, you know. And I'm going to play it for you, because in his testimony, he says that he is a descendant of the Igbos, but you have to really listen to his word selection. And that is important. Okay? You have to really listen to his word selection. All right? Because he didn't use the word Hebrew, right? He didn't use Israel, but I want y'all to pay attention here. So again, I want to start off by saying Shalom Lak Mashpaka to everyone that's tuning in. Really appreciate you guys tuning in and tuning in last night. So share, invite some others in. But I want to share this with you because one thing I want to say this to all my Hebrew brothers and sisters. Sometimes we can, we could be so, how can I put it? We could be so anxious to hear someone that has a lot of influence to say or confess who they are and recognizing that they are, let's just say, descendants of Israel per se. And we can want to hear certain things and we can want to pull them in and things like that. And oftentimes we can make ourselves to hear something that really is not what the person has said. Right now with TD Jakes, right? I listened to a few of his videos here, right? I literally went back, like even after I had the presentation last night, right? I went back over and listened to what he had to say. In his message prior to the Igbo message, right? He taught about Gentiles, right? He taught about covenant, saying that covenant, he said the covenant was given to Israel, right? He said the covenant was given to Israel. He literally says that. Something that we already know. But we can start hearing conflicts in his rhetoric or his teachings, rather, because I want to just say rhetoric in his teachings, right? Is now when we get to this video right here, and I want y'all to listen to this, all right? Listen to this. I want y'all to really listen to his choice of words, and let's see if he's really confessing to being a Hebrew. Let's listen to what he says real quick.
My ancestors were Igbos from Nigeria, and Igbos are called black Jews that are industrious and they go after things and they're hard-working people.
Listen to what he says again. I'm going to play it again. Listen very careful. Because many will take this video on the surface, yeah, because I've done it. I was like, hey, he's confessing to be a Hebrew. No, that's not what he confessed. Listen to what he says. Because that's why I believe he responded with his follow-up video that we went over last night the way that he did. He really don't believe that he is descendant of Hebrews. He did not say that, that the Igbo people are Jews. What he's saying is he's describing the characteristics of what the Jews, as we know them, the Jewish community, is as what we know them as being what? Hard workers. Right, when the Jewish community, the characteristics of the Jewish community today, they are known as, according to the definitions, is what? Because of what? How their reputation of how they work, and we can't take anything away from that. That's what he's saying here. And if you listen to what he's saying, he's describing the characteristics of the Igbo people because they were industrious, they were hard workers, and that they are called, he said that they are called black Jews because of how skillful they were, how determined they were, how industrious that they were. Not saying that they are Hebrews. He's saying their characteristics is what basically that of what the Jewish community as we know it. So let me play it again for you to listen to it. Here we go.
My ancestors were Igbos from Nigeria, and Igbos are called black Jews, that they're industrious, and they...
Stop right there. He said the Igbos are called black Jews. Didn't say that he believed. He said they are called black Jews. Right? And he's given the reason why he believes that the reasoning according to what he believed, why they're being called black Jews. Not saying that they're Hebrews. He's saying they're being called black Jews. In other words, the characteristics of what is known about the Jewish community today. But let's see what else he says.
Said they go after things, that they're hard-working people.
All right? They go after things. They're hardworking people. Let me play it again. Let's so you be clear on this.
Ancestors were Igbos from Nigeria, and Igbos are called black Jews, that they're industrious, that they go after things, that they're hard-working people.
One more time. He never confessed to being Hebrew. He's never said that he's Hebrew. He's never even said that he's Jew. That he's a Jew or Jewish. He's describing the characteristics of what he believes, what others are calling the Igbos, or what he's saying others are calling the Igbos, that they're known as to be called black Jews, not by because of through their blood or being descendants of Israel, but because of their worth ethics. That's what he's describing here. Let me play it one more time.
My ancestors were Igbos from Nigeria, and Igbos are called black Jews, that they're industrious, that they go after things, that they're hard-working people.
So he's saying that, and this is based upon what I'm hearing here. He does not believe that the Igbos are Hebrews. What he's describing is the worth ethics of the Igbos in comparison to what many have coined, right, to be part of what the Jewish characteristics in terms of their worth ethics. He's basically comparing worth ethics. That's what he's doing here. He's not saying that the Igbos are actually Hebrews. He's not confessing to being a Hebrew in this text. What he's doing is what he's saying that he is an Igbo. He's saying he's Igbo. That's what he's saying. He is Igbo, right? Descendants of a people that is known or called black Jews based upon their worth ethics, right? That is exactly what he's saying here. You know, and I want to pull up something real quick as I wrap up here. Let me see if I have the presentation here. I want to pull something up here, right? Let me see here. I want to pull something up here, and I want to read something to you. This is part of the identity theft presentation that I've done. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, I encourage you guys to go watch it. I put the link on this page. It's Shalom Ak Walton, Shalom Ak Yahanan, Shalom to everyone that's tuning in. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Let me see here. Let me pull up one of the slides from this presentation that let's see. I know I have it here. All right, bear with me one second, guys. I'm just trying to pull up this slide here. It's a letter from Harry Kissinger, right? And you can find this on it's on the government website, right? I have it here. This is coming from Harry Kissinger, right? He says the Igbos are the wandering Jews. He didn't say the Igbos are like, right? He's not saying that they have the characteristics of the Jewish community. Harry Kissinger, and you can pull this up. Let me enlarge in this here. And again, I encourage you guys to watch that presentation because I literally go into the details of this letter. But let me show you here. Hopefully you guys can see this, right? Without any glares. Oh, it's gonna.
tribes on that map.
Let me see here. It's
that is
backwards.
referred to as Jews.
Let me stop it here.
Now let's see what else here.
Y'all hear my voice here? That's part of my presentation. Let me stop it here.
A website actually. Let's go to.
All right. Let me show it here. All right. So you see it right there. Okay. That's coming from their website, right? That's coming from their website about the what the government Harry Kissinger, he was the Secretary of State, serving under Richard Nixon. This is his observation. This is not him saying that he observed himself. Just, hey, they may have the characteristics. No, he is saying here, the Igbos are the wandering Jews of West Africa. I'll say it. He said the Igbos rather are the wandering Jews. Harry Kissinger, that is his name. The Igbos are the wandering Jews. He didn't say based upon they have the characteristics of the Jewish community as we know them. This is his exact quotes. The Igbos are the wandering Jews of West Africa, gifted, aggressive. But he says this right here. He says westernized. Wait a minute. He said the Igbos are the wandering Jews, and if you understand the term Jew from the actual true meaning, the initial meaning of Jew was supposed to be a transliteration of Judah, and when you understand Judah from the biblical perspective, Yahweh, you'll see three references to Judah. You'll see Judah, the son of Jacob, or the son of Israel, Yashara'al. And you will see also Judah, the tribe, right? Which is pronounced Yahweh as well. And then also you see Judah, the nation, which represents the southern kingdom. And the southern kingdom is what? The southern kingdom is consisted of Judah, the tribe, the Benjamites, or the Benjamins, right? And also the Levitical priests, which the Levitical priests resided in Jerusalem. That's important for you to understand. So he is saying here that the Igbos are the wandering Jews of West Africa, gifted, aggressive, westernized. In other words, saying that they have taken on the westernized mindset, the westernized practices. He said westernized, at best envied and resented, but mostly despised by the mass of their neighbors in the Federation. Now he's making it clear that the Igbo people, the Igbos, are Judah, descendants of Judah, out of the nation, right? Saying that they are part of the nation of Judah, the southern kingdom, or we could say directly the tribe of Judah. But one way or the other, whether we say tribe of Judah, right, or whether we say the nation of Judah, we do know that the Benjamites were primarily absorbed by Judah for the most part. That's why when you read about the division of the kingdom, you'll see that David, or the seed of David, right, they were over Judah, and said Judah was at the southern kingdom. Why? Because the Benjamites were, why? They were what? Judah had the authority over them. So they were together, right? But then when we understand the Levitical priests, the 10 tribes went north to follow Jeroboam. Right? So Jeroboam, when he became corrupt and he called himself replacing the priesthood, right? The Levites fled. They went into Jerusalem, right? But nevertheless, I'll read it again. The Igbos are wandering Jews of West Africa. And guess what? It's a fact that most of us, right? Actually, the ratio is 1 out of 4, right? At least 1 out of 4 of every slave was Igbo. But we could take it even further than that. Because Igbo, when we start understanding, I'll say it again, the Bantu expansion, right? Different names by the Europeans began to be what? Placed on our ancestors. The Yoruba, guess what? And the Igbos are the same people. The Bantus are the same people. Right? But nevertheless, when we start, these descriptors, these words that were added by the Europeans, they help what? Bring division among the people. See, the Europeans, when you understand this, the history, I'll go back again. The very first transaction of the transatlantic slave trade, it highlights in the literature, and I posted inside that video. Please watch that video. I posted in that video how the Saracens, right? The Catholic Church knew that the Negroes, right, that was in West Africa were what? They were not Saracens. The word Saracens means Arabs. They did not practice, they were not Arabs, they were not Muslims, they did not practice Islam. What were they practicing? They were not practicing Catholicism. They were not practicing Christianity. They was practicing strictly observers of what? Torah, the law and the prophets. Right? They were worshiping the Most High God. They were worshiping, they were following Yahweh Shai minus all the what? Influences of different religious groups. When I say religious groups, in other words, sections of religion. So when you start understanding Sierra Leone, and I'm working on a presentation to really break that down, you'll understand that why many of them began to gravitate to Islam in West Africa. That was what? Enslaved. Why? Because many of them did not like how many of what the Britons that were the British guys that was there coming, Europeans that helped find this place, Sierra Leone. They were what? Pushing the Eurocentric doctrines of Christianity, right? And guess what? They were what? Trying to replace the heritage even then. So many began to gravitate because the Yoruba began to what? They embrace Islam. Why? Because at that time, Islam was what? Even what we see happening in the 60s, right? Islam was still teaching what? Identity. And our ancestors knew that the Israelites were not Europeans. The Israelites were melanated people, Shakawar people. They were dark melanated people. And what began to happen was you start seeing the influence of Christianity. Now, I'm not here trying to badger anyone that are following Christ, right? I'm not doing that. I'm not badgering people who embrace Christianity, but I am dealing with the doctrine of Christianity, right? That's what I'm dealing with. It's not personal. So when you understand and you listen to T.D. Jakes, and I want to get sidetracked, T.D. Jakes is not confessing to being a Hebrew. He's not even confessing to being a Jew. What he's doing is he's saying that he's equal. He's playing with wordplay here. Because what happens when he said that video went viral among who? The Hebrew Israelites. Because now many say, hey, T.D. Jakes is embracing who he is. No, he's not. He's not embracing being a Hebrew. He's simply saying in his statement that the Igbos have the characteristics in terms of the worth ethics of the Jewish community as we know them today. That's what he's actually saying in that comment. That's what he's stating. So let's not get caught up with trying to put words in his mouth because we want it to be true. Don't get me wrong. I want him to know. I want these leaders to know exactly who they are. Because, man, when we see that happening, man, you'll see a great thing happening among the country. So again, that's why I want to say that he is not saying that he is a Jew. He is not saying that he is Hebrew. Because he made it clear in the post that you see last night that he still believes that he is a Gentile. And that because of that, he believes that being a Gentile per se, he's believing that from that perspective that he's been grafted in. That's where you get the term grafted in. That's why he makes it clear with that. And he begins to be all over the place with covenant and breaking down covenant. So I'm not getting into all of that, but I want to, because I don't want to sound redundant here, but that's why I want to jump out here, because I had to go back and replay what he actually said about about Jews, about the Igbos. All right. And so he's not confessing to saying that he's a Hebrew. He's not confessing to saying that he's a black Jew. What he's dealing with is the worth ethics of the Igbos in comparison with the worth ethics of the Jewish community as we know it. So I hope this helps you guys. Guys, let's not get itching ears. See, we can indirectly embrace and become under that spirit of what itching ears, that we can start what hearing pieces of information, and we'll start what filling in the blanks ourselves because we want something to be so true. We want something to be a certain way when it's actually not. Isn't that similar to like relationships? You want the relationship to be so to be a certain way that you cannot hear, or with the Hebrew word for hear is shamai, which means what? Listen with intelligence. That's why Christ warned his disciples. He says, listen. He says, hear. He says, hearken. Let no deceive you. Before he went into the prophetic, the prophecies, released the prophecies to them about what was going to happen in the state of the world as we see today. Right? So many false prophets rising up, so many apostles of these false Christs that's rising up. That's what we see today. Desperate times, people do desperate things. Desperate times, people grab hold of things out of desperation. And that's why I want to say, let's not be desperate or give this perception that we are desperate, and start gravitating to people that we know have no clue or have no desire to really understand who they are. There are pastors that have said that they are Hebrews, and many of us gravitated to them. And what happened? They still were pushing the same doctrine. They were still pushing the same deceptive doctrines, but they put Hebrew on top of it, and they went viral because of that. No, that's why we have to be careful. Christ said that what? Beware of wolves in sheep's clothing. In other words, the deception is going to look just like you, just like me. But this is where we have to listen to what the fruit, listen to the words and the fruits that are of these people, right? So we have to start what? Listening with intelligence. So I wanted to just follow up with that TD Jake video about him referring to the Igbos as being the Jews, black Jews. He was not saying that he believes that they are Jews from a perspective of blood, but what he's doing is he's purposely and selectively and creatively, right, honing in on what? The worth ethics, not the actual blood of the people. So I hope that helps you guys. I don't want to be on here too long. I had a long weekend. We had a great Shabbat yesterday. And I encourage you guys, if you're in the Richmond area, man, if you're in the vicinity, come break bread with us, right? Come and break bread with us, all right? We're here. We have Shabbat service. We have first day of the week service. We have our Bible studies on Tuesdays at 7:30. We have our leaderships on Thursdays at 7:30 and 7 o'clock. And at those leadership discussions, we're teaching. I'm teaching leaders how to properly discern, how to rightly divide the word of truth. And guess what? I teach them different religions about their perspectives as well. So with that being said, guys, let's stop being anxious to try to get people to be accepted or accept what we do. No more of that. Okay, so go back over it. You can listen for yourselves and you will see exactly what I am saying, all right, about TD Jakes. But if you're in the Richmond area, the Richmond, Virginia area, come on and see us. Even if you're an hour, 2 hours away, come and see us. We'll make provisions for you. Whether you crash at our house or we put you in a hotel, whatever the case may be. But we will make provisions for you if you want to come fellowship with us. We believe here is teaching all of the Dabar HaQuadash, not playing around with it, not teaching it impartial. We believe in teaching, being followers of Christ, right? I'm going to say that again. We teach following Christ, right? Not being caught up in any religious system, right? Now, for the sake of here, I'm going to say this, right? Just because somebody say that they are a Christian doesn't even mean that they're actually following Christianity. I'll say this again. Just because somebody say that they are a Christian doesn't mean that they are in Christianity, right? Because guess what? Christ, the word Christ means what? Anointed, right? So if you study religious systems, there are different religions out here that has a Christ. That's That's why Christ said in Matthew, he warned about what? The rising of what? Different Christs. So if there's going to be a rise of different Christ, that means that those followers of that Christ is going to call themselves what? Christians, or what? Following that Christ. So guess what? You can be a follower of Christ and not be in Christianity. You could be a follower of Christ and not be part of the Reformation movement, or call yourself a Protestant and all these different stuff out here. You could be a follower of Christ, guess what, and know who you are as a Hebrew. That's a fact. That's why I want to give clarity on that, guys. That's why we have to listen with intelligence, right? Listen with intelligence. So again, I follow Christ, but I no longer follow the doctrines of Christianity. I'm making it clear. I no longer follow the theologies that is associated with Christianity. I no longer follow those theologies. I no longer subscribe to those theologies. I am a follower of who? Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. I follow the Christ. I follow him. I follow him. And I follow the examples. I use the examples of the disciples and how I am to follow according to what? Torah. All right? The law and the prophets. All right? So with that being said, guys, I just wanted to make that clear. If you're in the Richmond area, come on out with us. With that being said, our Shabbat services start at 11. And we teach, we go over Hebrew, we really go in depth the text. So with that being said, in the area, come on out and visit us. Love you, family. Gotta go. Mashpaka, family. Gotta go. All right. Shalom. Mashpaka. Peace, family.